guys. Thought I'd make a quick video just diving in a little bit deeper into, why we all run away from our shadow, our sense of being. Just running and running and running. And we never get closer. We just get further away. I look at my son. Today we went to a static dance where it's this free, unstructured dance. And I'm watching my son dance. And it's just teaching me everything of how much I don't know by everything that I think I know about dancing. The dancing that I know is when you gotta go to a concert and you don't want to look stiff, but then you want to perform a bit, so you're bopping your head and moving in a certain way that looks constricted, but it also looks performative, but you want to look cool in front of everyone else. And then when I go to a static dance and I watch people on the floor rolling around, some people waving their arms, me just kicking my feet, and I watch my son, who's much more free of doing that. He just teaches me everything. He teaches me how closer he is to knowing what dance is before he learns structured dance, to unlearn what dancing is, which is just a shameful of dance of trying to conform to someone who's made it up before him. And it reminds me that we should all go closer to the source of, getting to know us and getting to know what freedom is like. Even I read these emails by his teachers, and they often complain that he's unregulated in terms of his emotions. And as a therapist, that's a lot of therapist, whatever that role means, a lot of shame. So I should definitely know what regulating your emotions is. But the more techniques they give him, the raindrop technique, where he focuses on waving his hands with the raindrops or the square breathing, the more and more I know I don't practice these techniques, and I doubt regularly his teachers practice these techniques. And really they just sort of gaslighting him to tell him to be less happy at certain points, or excited, or cry a little less, and just kind of shut the fuck up. And what point of emotion is an appropriate amount, and what other point is the accepted amount that we numb? I don't have any of those answers, but I'm pretty sure no one else has those answers, but he's going to feel it quickly. And that definitely scares me. It scares me a lot for him, that the amount of diagnoses we give him and give kids, the ADHD around the corner, that somehow he needs to conform to this matrix that teaches us that, this is the answer, this is the light, you just push harder and numb. But what are we pushing for when it's all darkness anyways? When I look at him dance, and I know in his darkness of not knowing, he actually has the light to be free and to emotionally expressive, and to be a version deeper of himself that isn't defined by any contract, which I wish I didn't have. And that's partly which I do these dive-ins. I got a message today, and someone was asking me, why do this? Why not do this in private? And I've definitely done this in private, but I think that the version of Kyle, or the versions of selves I've had to play in the relationships with others, good, bad, sensitive, whatever it is, it gets me to toss that out the window. And if those versions aren't good enough, then that's what it is. And I think more and more people should do that. Dive in deeper to who they are. And if their friends and family or whoever judges them, they judge them from above, so they're not really even connected. They don't even know who they are. And those people that may cast those labels in the darkness of mental breakdown, sensitive, too much, any of the words that we give for that darkness from the light, people that know that they're the made it ones, they're actually just hiding their shadows. They're the frauds. They're the lack of experts. And they're trying so hard to numb. And that's why in relationship, there's only two people to me that show up. The people that numb from above, that pretend that they're okay, and the people below that are okay not being okay. They're both. And that's the bravest thing you can do, is take off the armor. So I think after talking to my friend and brother today, Dan, on a video call, we may start a YouTube community just called Neverland, where lost children, lost boys, lost girls, those inner children like my son. You go back to the beginning to learn the wisdom of the freedom of who you actually aren't and who you are. And you start to poke holes in a lot of these fucked up containers that we're given on who we should be, how we should live, and how the masks that we hold and the performances we make sure that we're all good and everyone's all good and we just talk about bullshit is actually the illusion. And if we actually just risk taking it off, it's actually paradoxically the thing we're afraid of the most actually has the most light to teach us. So anyways, that's where I've been thinking about today after a static dance, watching my son dance, and more trying to follow his lead than what I know dancing is, which is just the illusion. Anyways,